Hello students, Educator Guru is getting you one important thing from the examination point of view for second year PUC students in the subject business studies. That is multiple choice questions, that is for 1 mark, alright. The chapter wise, you will have chapter wise question along with what actually the answer. The answer has been highlighted. So what I am going to do is the highlighted answer that I am going to tick, so it becomes easy for you which one is the answer. If you practice around 70 questions from all chapters has been given, I hope it will be definitely helpful for you. Before I start, I request those who have not subscribed to our channel, please subscribe and share among your friends. All the best. Let us start the chapter 1 under business studies, that is nature and significance of management is the first chapter. Which of the following is not function of management? Planning, staffing, cooperating and controlling. It is cooperating. It is not function of financial, that is management. Management is an art, a science, both art and science. Any subject must be both art and science. It cannot be only art or it cannot be only science. The following is not an objective of management. Earning profits, growth of the organization, providing employment, policy making. The following is not an objective. Policy making is not an objective of the management. Policy formation is the function of top level managers, middle level managers, operational management, all of the above. It is top level managers always will take what actually the policy formation. Then coordination is a function of management, the essence of management, an objective of management, none of the above. So coordination is essence of management. Next chapter, principles of management. Principles of management are not universal, flexible, absolute, behavioral. It is absolute. If you are serious, then even in your question paper, that is model question paper also it is there. How are the principles of management formed? In a laboratory, by experience of managers, by experience of customers, by propagation of social scientists, by experience of what actually managers. The principles of management are significant because of increase in efficiency, initiative, optimum utilization of resources, adaptation of changing technology. So principles of management significance because optimum utilization of resources. We are supposed to utilize all the resources to the perfect extent. Henry Foyle was a social scientist, mining engineer, accountant, production engineer. He was a mining engineer. Which of the following statements best describes the principle of division of work? That means who should do whom and what. That is division of work. Work should be divided into small tasks. That is the answer. Labor should be divided. Resources should be divided among jobs and it leads to specialization. Work should be divided into small tasks. That is called as what actually division of work. Next, she bar he keeps machines, materials, tools, etc. ready for operations by concerned workers whose work is described by this sentence under functional foremanship. Instruction clerk, repair boss, gang boss, route clerk. It is called as what you mean by gang boss. That means one who handles few persons is called as what gang boss. Which of the following is not principles of management given by Taylor? Science, not rule of thumb. Functional foremanship. Maximum, not restricted output. Harmony, not discord. It is functional foremanship is the thing which has not been given by Taylor. Management should find one best way to perform a task. Which technique of scientific management is defined in this sentence? Time study, motion study, fatigue study, method study. It is method study. It is method study. Which of the following statements best describes mental revolution? It implies a change of attitude. The management and workers should not play the game of one upmanship. Both management and workers require each other. Workers should pay more wages. It is very simple. Describes mental revolution. It implies change of attitude. The only one attitude, it becomes 100%. If you add all these letters, it becomes 100%. So attitude is very, very important. Which of the following statement is false about Taylor and Foyle? Foyle was mining engineer, whereas Taylor was a mechanical engineer. Foyle's principles are applicable in specialized situations where Taylor principles have universal application. First one is no, second one is the answer. And you have the third one, Foyle principles were formed through personal experience, whereas Taylor principles were formed through experimentation. Foyle principles are applicable at top level of management, whereas Taylor principles are applicable at shop floor. So these are not answer. The quote B is the answer. Next topic, business environment. Which of the following does not characterize the business environment? Does not characterize the business environment. Uncertainty, employees, relativity, complexity. It is employees. It cannot characterize business environment. Which of the following is an example for a social environment? Money supply in this economy, Consumer Protection Act, the Constitution of the country, composition of family. When you say social, it should be composition of family, that is society. Liberalization means integration among economies, reduced government controls and restrictions, policy of planned disinvestments, none of the above. Liberalization means reduced government controls and restrictions, so that they will be free, that they can do anything legally, not illegally. Which of the following does not explain the impact of government policy changes on business and industry? More demanding customers, increasing competition, change in the agricultural prices. Which of the following does not explain the impact of government policies change on the business industry, that is change in the agricultural prices? Market orientation. So it is only one, it is change in agricultural prices. Next one is planning. Next one is planning. I will write here. Planning. Next one is planning. Which of the following statement is not correct with regard to planning? It is mental exercise. It provides a direction for the future actions. It is end function of a process of management. It involves setting objectives and developing courses of action. Say which of the statement is not correct? It ends function of the process of management. Yes, this is the answer, right? Is not correct with regard to planning. Planning is what actually, it will be keep on what actually they doing. Which of the following is not feature of planning? It focuses on achieving objectives. It involves identification and division of work. It is primary function of the management. It is a pervasive function. It is very simple. It involves identification and division of work. Which of the following is an example of single-use plan? Policy, procedure, budget, method. It is budget. This is also there in your model paper. Which of the following is an example for standing plan? Budget, programs, strategy, policies. So standing plan is always what actually? Policies. Which of the following is not a type of plan? Objectives, coordination, budget, rule. Coordination is not a type of plan, right? Next one, organizing. Chapter is organizing. Which of the following is not an element of delegation? Delegation means what actually? you hand over the work to somebody, which is called as what actually delegation. Accountability, authority, responsibility, informal organization. Which of the following is not an element of delegation? Mean informal organization. A network of social responsibility that arises spontaneously due to interaction at work is called formal organization, informal organization, decentralization, delegation. Spontaneously due to interaction, it is called as informal organization. Which of the following does not follow the scalar chain? Functional structure, divisional structure, formal organization, informal organization. Right? Then a tall structure has a narrow span of management, wide span of management, no span of management, less level. It is a narrow span of management. Centralization refers to retention of decision making authority, dispersal of decision making authority, creating division as profit centers, opening new centers or branches. No. Centralization, it is in somebody's hands. It is retention of decision making authority. It will be with only few persons. Then for delegation to be effective, it is essential that responsibility be accompanied with necessary authority, manpower, incentives, promotions. It is authority. If you have the authority, you can discharge your responsibility properly. Span of management refers to number of managers, length of term for which a manager is appointed, number of subordinates under a superior, or number of members in top management. It is number of subordinates under a superior. That is span. That means how many persons that they can handle. Then the form of organization known for giving rise to rumors is called centralized organization, decentralized organization, informal organization, formal. Say giving room for what actually? That is the organization for giving rise to rumors is always informal organization. Grouping of activities on the basis of production lines is a part of decentralized organization, division organization, functional organization, and centralized organization. It is functional, different functions. Then staffing. Which one of the following is not a function of staffing? Recruitment, training, compensation, directing. So directing is not what actually? Staffing. Now, which one of the following is an internal source of recruitment? Transfer, employment exchange, advertisement, campus. It is transfer. Transfer from one department to another department, or from one branch to another branch. Promotion of employees results in increase in pay, increase in responsibility, increase in job satisfaction, all the above. Promotion of employees results increase in pay, increase in responsibility, increase in job satisfaction. That means it is all the above, which considers everything. Which of the following is a job method of training? Case study, coaching, vestibular training, computer modeling. It is coaching. It is job method training. Which of the following is off the job method training? Off job method training. Apprentice program, internship training, case study, job rotation. It is case study. Next chapter is directing. Which one of the following is not an element of direction? Motivation, communication, delegation, supervision. Delegation is not an element of direction. Next, motivation theory, which classifies need sin hierarchical order in developed by Fred Lutzon, Scott, Abraham Maslow, Peter F. Drucker. So, the theory was developed by hierarchical order is by Abraham Maslow. Which of the following is a financial incentive? Promotion, stock incentive, job security, employee participation. It is financial incentive, stock incentive. Which of the following is not an element of communication process? Decoding, communication, channel, receiver. That is element of what actually communication process is communication. Grape point is formal communication, barrier to communication, lateral communication, informal, it is informal communication. Status comes under the following type of barriers: semantic barrier, organizational barrier, non-semantic or barrier, then psychological barrier. It is organizational barrier. The software company promoted by Narayan Murthy is, I think everybody know, it is not Wipro, Infosys, that is other, it is Infosys. Wipro, it is Azim Premji. Infosys is by Narayan Murthy. The highest level need in the need hierarchy of Abraham Maslow is safety need, belongingness need, self-actualization need, then prestige need. It is self-actualization need. Right? The process of converting the message into communication symbol is known as media encoding, feeding, decoding. It is encoding. It is encoding. The communication network in which all subordinates under a supervisor communicate through supervisor only. It is called as what actually wheel, that is a single chain, that is invented wheel, free flow. It is a wheel, that means which rotates, what actually which rotates. The next chapter, controlling. An efficient control system helps accomplish organizational objectives, boosts employees' morale, judges accuracy of standards. All the above. Say it is very simple. It is all the above. It accomplishes the organizational objectives, then boosts the employee morale and judges accuracy of standards. It is all the above. It is called an efficient control system. Next, controlling function of organization is forward looking, backward looking, forward as well as backward looking. None of the above. Say controlling function, always you should say future and back, both, that is forward as well as what actually backward. Now, management audit is a technique to keep check on the performance of company, management of the company, shareholders, customers. Management audit is a technique keep check on performance of management of the company. Budgetary control requires the preparation of training schedule, budgets, network diagram, responsibility centers. It is budget. Budgetary control requires preparation of budgets. You have several budgets. Which of the following is not applicable to responsibility accounting? Investment center, accounting center, profit center, cost center. Which of the following is not applicable for responsibility? It is accounting center. Financial management, next chapter. The cheapest source of finance: debenture, equity share capital, preference capital, retained earnings. It is debenture. Debt capital. It is called as debt capital. A decision to acquire new and modern plant to upgrade an old one is financing function, working capital decision, investment decision. None of the above. It is investment decision. It is investment decision. How much that you are going to invest, upgrade. That means you are like to increase the capital. Other things remaining the same. An increase in the tax rate on corporate profits will make the debt relatively cheaper, make the debt relatively dearer, have no impact on the cost of debt. We cannot say. It is very simple. Other things remaining the same. In case of tax rate of corporate profits will make the debt relatively cheaper. Relatively cheaper. Companies with a larger grown pattern are likely to pay lower dividends, pay higher dividends. Dividends are not affected by growth consideration. None of the above. Companies with a higher grown pattern are likely for pay lower what actually dividends. Financial leverage is called favorable if return on investment is lower than the cost of debt, return on investment is higher than the cost of debt, debt is easily available, if the degree of existing financial risk is low. It is very simple. ROI, return on investment, higher than the cost of debt. Higher debt equity ratio results in lower financial risk, higher degree of operational risk, higher degree of financial risk, and higher EPS, that is earning per share, higher degree of financial risk. Current assets are those assets which get converted into cash within 6 months, within 1 year, between 1 and 3 years, between 3 and 5 years. It is within 1 year, right? Then financial planning arrives at minimizing the external borrowing by resorting to equity issues. Entering the firm always have significantly more fund than required so that there is no paucity of funds. Ensuring that the firm faces neither a shortage nor a glut of unusable funds. This is most important. This is the thing that what have to do. Financial planning arrives at that. Doing only what is possible with the funds that the firm has its disposal. Then next question. Higher dividend per share is associated with high earnings, high cash flow, unstable earnings, and higher growth opportunities. High earnings, high cash flow, stable earnings, and high growth opportunities. Higher dividend per share is associated with high earnings, high cash flow, stable earnings, and high growth opportunities. High earnings, high cash flow, stable earnings, and lower growth, no. Higher, that is high earnings, low cash flows, stable earnings, and high growth, no. It is everything should be one and the same. A fixed asset should be financed through a long-term liability, a short-term liability, a mix of long-term. It should be always out of long-term liability. You are supposed to find the fixed assets. Current assets of a business should be financed through current liability, long-term liability, both types, long and short-term. Current assets of a firm should be financed through both long and short-term liabilities. Next, financial markets. Primary and secondary markets compete with each other, complement each other, function independently, control each other. It is complement each other, right? The total number of stock exchanges in India 20, 21, 22, 23, 21. Note, as per the NSE and BSE are the two active stock exchanges in our country. The settlement of cycle in NSE is, that is term plus 2, that is T plus 5, T plus 3, T plus 2 plus T plus 1. It is, that is T plus 2. The National Stock Exchange of India was recognized and stock exchange in the year 1993. NSE commenced futures trading in the year 2000. Clearing and settlement operations of NSE are carried out by NSDL, NSECL, SBI, CDSL. It is NSDL. A treasury bill is basically an instrument to borrow short-term funds, an instrument to borrow long-term funds, an instrument of capital market. None of the above. An instrument to borrow short-term funds. Students, I have made, I told you, 71 multiple choice questions have been framed for your sake, and it has been answered. You need not worry that you have already received, that is business studies model question paper answers with you. In that I have given you detailed explanation of all chapters and regarding this. Then it becomes easy for you when you just enter, and when you study that and then study this, it becomes easy and you will be able to understand correctly also, right? So thank you once again. I am just reminding you, those who have not subscribed, kindly subscribe and share among your friends. All the best.